Is it just me? Is it just you? Did you ever grow up in your life thinking that maybe you didn't try the right formula? Didn't wear the right clothes? Didn't say the right words? Didn't put forth the perfect presentation? You're probably going, man, you described me perfectly. Yes, the dating culture in Western nations. What happened? What happened to the old days when you could look at a girl and you'd smile, she'd smile, and you could walk up and say, man, you're cute. She goes, well, you're handsome. You want to go out? Yeah, I'd love that. Fast forward to 2018. You better watch out. Because the gamut ranges from you're going to get in trouble, especially in the workplace if you hit on a girl. You could land yourself in a sexual harassment claim just for telling Heather she had a nice dress. Yeah, that's true. If a woman feels that she's offended, that's all it takes. But how about the online dating sites? Plenty of Fish, Craigslist, eHarmony, Zoosk, Badoo. I have read profile after profile of females. When are men going to realize that most women in American culture are not givers but takers? This is a fact. You read any expert on marital, dating, and romantic advice, and they'll all tell you the same. It's give and take. It's give and take. That I look at a relationship much like I look at a ping pong championship. The ball bounces, I hit it with the paddle. But the game ends if the other person sets his paddle down and the ball goes and rolls off the table. You don't have a game with yourself. 50% of all marriages end in divorce. And out of all those marriages that end in divorce, in my 52 years, I've noticed an astonishing mathematical truth. I say mathematical truth because every female I know says this, so it must be true. It's always the fault of the man for the demise of the relationship. I'm not going to give you reasons that I've heard. But after venturing out onto the highways and byways of life in general, it took me a long time to say out loud, it takes two to tango. You can't waltz by yourself. And yet every female I know in Western culture, it's always the fault of the man. Is this true? I hear women today say all men are a-holes. And they're crusted over themselves. They're not warm. They have no heart. They're the B word. And in doing an analysis and a study and trying to be as objective as I can, have there been women who have been hurt by men? Of course. But strangely absent from the American, Canadian, Aussie, British landscape is this glaring fact. Men have also been hurt by women. Let me say that one more time. Men have been hurt by women. We hear women whining, menstruating all over our American society about what their daddy did, their uncle did, their cousin did, their ex did, their boyfriend did, their boss did, all the males that just beat them up and now they're victims and I need meds and I need counseling. And I ask myself, is this a phenomenon that men are monsters, ogres seeking to devour and consume females and leave them lying in a helpless victim state, consigned to receiving counseling and medications for the rest of their life? I think what we need to throw in the feminist face is to say it's interesting that you give us men so much power, that all the men are to blame for the relationship, but you have absolutely no part in this whatsoever, that you were an unwilling victim, that he stuck a knife into your heart, dragged you into his lair, and did whatever he wanted to you, and you had no choice in the matter, including before you went out with the clown. I have learned a truth in life. There are many women that cannot live with peace. Let me say that again. There are many American women that cannot live with peace. I see this especially ringing true in the Hispanic community. They love drama. Look at them the wrong way, they're ready to fight. If all's well, if all's in harmony and peace, something in their inner sanctum says, I can't deal with this. I honestly believe that there are some women who love to live for the drama. There are women who want attention. They want people to feel sorry for them. They want to hold like a dog in a newfound bone, trotting. Look what he did to me. And they want to show everybody. So that the females, and yes, can I say the word simps? You know, white males. Oh, Susan, I'm so sorry. I won't treat you that way. Oh, yes. The man now moves into, I want to be your stallion. Why did the group create the song, American Woman, Get Away From Me? There's a song out right now. I can't remember the name and all the words, but it's basically the father that left and the poor mother raising the child. The American justice system believes that the men are wrong. They favor the women pretty much every time. But is this truth? American women have put themselves out there, and men let it happen. That they're goddesses, that they're deities, they're so beautiful. We put them on a pedestal, and when we did that, we took a pistol and shot ourselves right in the butt. Women are not better than men. I hate to break it to the ladies. In fact, to be perfectly honest with you, if you want to talk about tangible goods and services, and I'm going to say something that's going to get me in big, big trouble. As far as infrastructure, governments, manufacturing, and the whole kit and caboodle of everything that everybody takes advantage of in this world, I'm going to lay it out. The bulk majority of men created that, not females. When you look at the actual productivity rate of females compared to males, historically, it's very small. Do not misunderstand me. I am not saying women have no value. I'm not saying that women contribute nothing. Without the love of a woman, many men wouldn't have succeeded. But I'm sorry. Letourneau, who invented heavy equipment, Caterpillar, diesel engines, flights, jets, airplanes, ocean liners, those were not created by women. They were created by men. The building of houses and structures was done by men. The greatest works of art, Monet, Rembrandt, Van Gogh. Sorry, they were dudes. The greatest classical music masterpieces of all time, Tchaikovsky, Rimsky-Korsakov, Dvorak, Debussy. Should I go on? All men. The greatest stories, love stories, the stories that survive the test of time, Shakespeare, men. It's interesting that not one female wrote one book of the Bible. Men. It's interesting to note that in all of the wars and the greatest battles ever fought, women are not there. Yes, they could argue, yeah, men get us into a mess every time. We do. But we also see men liberating the biggest messes of all time. Why am I taking the time to do this? Because women have turned themselves thinking that they're so important. You watch the standard American white woman on her cell phone. I've seen this when I'm walking and talking to somebody. They have to be heard. They have to let us know how important they are. But when you listen to their conversation, it's like you're not saying anything. It's fluff. I want to make it very clear in my video. I have female friends that are white. Mostly on the East Coast, not here. They're working women. They're loving women. They're the productive women. They tune into my channel. They keep in touch with me. They care. They hear what I say. And though they may not agree on every particulate of what comes out of my heart, they agree with the heart of what I'm saying. The sad reality in American culture is that most of your good women, white women, they're taken, they're involved with a relationship. At my age, you're not going to find a quality, good-looking, well-adjusted female single. You're not. I can hear the single women out there going, oh my gosh, did you hear this guy? He needs psychiatric help. You're right. I need to be delivered from the kind of females I'm talking about. I've been begging for that for all of my life and didn't know it until, well, 2008 when I went overseas and I realized something. The women have lost their femininity. They've lost their ladiness. They've lost what it means to be a woman. Now men are beat up, vilified, demonized, and vitrioled for even noticing. For being a man and saying, my gosh, she's hot. She seems nice. I'm interested. Now you're made to feel guilty. Women dress scantily, and they say all men are pigs. Women dress provocative, tight pants, cleavage sporting, as much skin as possible, sometimes no bra, sometimes midriff, and a man looks, he's called a pig. If the man's old, he's called a perv. And if there's one thing I could shout at the women, I don't care if you're 16 years old. You don't have a bra. Your shirt's hanging at 6 inches out over your exposed belly, and you're going like this all the time. Why would a man not notice you? No, they're not into your heart. You're right. But they're definitely into what you're advertising. Why is a man a pervert when he's 70 and has a heart-on because you're beautiful? Why is he considered a pervert? He's a man. You're a woman. You may be immature as all get out, but you have the body of a female. I don't understand American women. I don't understand their rationale. I don't understand their emotionally driven logic, except that it's emotionally driven, therefore it's fallacious. I care about the feelings of a female. I love a woman that has passion and intensity and love. But I love a woman who tempers that with the truth. I love a woman who lets a man be a man and stops berating and demonizing us. I go to a recreation center. They have a steam bath, hot tub, or steam room, hot tub, sauna, and the hot tub jets are awesome. Actually, it's a jacuzzi, whirlpool. They got a pool, river walk, everything. $6. I spend all day in there on my day off when I'm done with all my other duties, and I meet a lot of women. White, black, Hispanic. I met a woman from Ethiopia that I love talking to. I recently met a Hispanic woman. Good looking. And I find an interesting thing all the time. I meet so many women that, I'm so tired of men that just want to use me, and, I'm just committed to, serving God, and then you start hearing a couple of weeks go by, and then she starts telling a story. Oh, I found this Arabian guy, and tell me what you think. Pacific, tell me what you think. We dated, he took me out, he treated me so good, and then, well, we got intimate, and this went on for weeks, and it's great, and suddenly no call, and he disappears. I said, did you call him? No, I'm not like that. I said, how long was he away? 2 months. How many times did you do this? 3 or 4 times. I said, why do you keep going back to him? You say you want a man who give you commitment, but you keep going back to him. You keep letting him do this. How do you know he doesn't have a girl on the side? Because I'm lonely, and he treats me like a queen. I said, so you're human too. You're human too. But if you want a relationship with a man, why don't you seek a man who wants a relationship? Who can treat you like the Arabian, but who stays? She wanted my phone number. She wanted to keep in touch. And I've been through this countless times. Send a text, good morning, yeah, good morning too, but then I'll pull away and say, you know what, let's see if she's interested. Most women in Western culture, to me, are attention whores. They want your attention, they don't want your love, they don't want your affection, they certainly do not want a relationship with you. But they definitely want you to look and, as the Britney Spears song, notice me. I want you to unpack that song. It's called Every Time. Na 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 na. Especially women, that kind of music is emotional laced. It is dripping with emotional. And you listen to the words. Why would a girl sing a song? Notice me. Because women, more than men, tend to be more self-centered. I really, truly believe that. And why do I say that? Because men tend to do more for the woman than the woman does for the man. Most women today will not give a man a back massage or a home-cooked meal, even in a relationship. A man will take her out. The woman will never say, hey, you know what? You've done so much for me. I'm going to make you a nice dinner, candlelight. You come on over. 5 o'clock, baby. You're not going to get that. Now, I'm not saying there aren't any out there that would do. I met another woman who I've chatted with and had a brief interest. She's a few years older than me, and of course she had found out last year I voted for Trump, and she wouldn't speak to me at all. And she recently told me, she goes, I admit, when I found out you voted for Trump, I wanted nothing to do with you. But she goes, I got to admit, I had to work through it. She goes, I watched you, and you're a very nice guy. There's not too many guys like you. I said, even though I voted for Trump, huh? She goes, well, I still don't like that. She goes, but I feel like I'm getting to know you. Over years gone by. What she doesn't realize is, like, you know what? I'm single, so I can flirt. But I'm not hanging, waiting for her or anybody else. Because I've realized none of these materialize into anything. The truth is, women want attention. They want to know that you're into them. But that's pretty much where it stops today. They're scared of a relationship. They're scared of a commitment, and they're scared. They always view everything through the previous the backdrop of what they went through with some other guy. But for feminist women today to be blaming all of us men, that's not accurate. You have to ask yourself, ladies, why did you date this guy to begin with and allow yourself to get intimately, physically close to him, i.e. sex? Because, honestly, and I'm going to be bold here, I pull no punches. I lived in Asia, I've lived in the USA, and the bottom line is most women in America don't make love, they have sex. I know this because I was in marriage for 14 years. I never made love, I had sex. And you might think, well, you're being really semantical. I am not. There's a huge difference. Hollywood, women's magazines, Mademoiselle, Elle, Cosmopolitan, and a host of others, they promote sex. They call it making love. Feels like making love. And it isn't. Yet we've been conditioned in our culture to see, ooh, boobs. Has any of you had a regret sexual experience? I think if we're honest, many of us have. You felt the urge, you got involved with somebody, and literally after you climaxed, you just thought, oh my gosh, I just did this. Why did I just do this? But the fact is, you make love with somebody that you love and you adore and you caress and you're passionate and intimate. Most men I know in the U.S. are like dogs when it comes to sex. Insert dipstick in the hole, go in and out rapidly, have orgasm, pull out, go to bed. The woman's laying there going, wow, I got absolutely nothing out of that. Most men don't realize that women need to be worked up and romanced and felt and touched and caressed and kissed and her whole body explored. A woman is a different composition than we are, folks. Excuse me. But I meet an increasing number of women that don't like to be touched, that don't like to be intimate, that are non-demonstrative, non-affectionate. I stay away from them. They can be my friend, but romantically, no. But the dating culture is fraught through with landmines. And I've had to learn in my 52 years something very foundational. Something that most of us men miss most of our lives, and some never get it. If a woman is interested in you, you won't have to do anything. She's going to let you know. She's going to move into your radar. Going to drop hints. She's going to aggressively pursue you. Wait a minute. I thought it was the guys that make it. That's what we've always been taught. Men are supposed to initiate. I hear women tell me, well, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait for the man to come up to me. Really? You're going to sit there and wait even if he doesn't know you're interested? Women now today, they say they want equality, and if they want to sit around waiting for the man to make the first move, I say hypocrite. Why don't you make the first move? Honestly, it doesn't bother me if a woman's interested in me who's a decent looker and a decent heart. I'd have no problem if she aggressively pursued me. It'd be refreshing. It'd be freeing. Because for every time I've thrown my fishing pole baited the hook, and you stick your line in the water and you feel nibbles. You know, you feel the line tug and then you reel it in. There's nothing. The bait's been stole off the hook and you're like, dang it. Put another worm on there, put it out, nibble, worm's gone. It's all right. We're going to take that worm and wrap it all around that thing. And then something bites. Pull the pole down. You're like, oh my gosh. You're pulling this thing in and it's a carp. Oh, yuck. Throw that back. That is the way dating is. I think it's a great analogy. But then you go deep sea fishing. Deep sea fishing is awesome. You get out there, you throw your line in it, and then you feel something. Oh my gosh. Anybody see the video of the Aussies on the back of a boat? One strapped seatbelted into a deck-mounted chair. And the chair's got springs and the chair's pulling forward. He's caught a swordfish. And this thing is fighting. I mean, it's pulling him. Suddenly he quits fighting. He pulls this thing in and half of it's gone. A great white shark came up and that sucks. For any deep sea fish? Oh my gosh, you can catch beautiful Asian women. And they will show an interest in you. I know. I speak from experience. When you keep trying to catch some girl's attention and you have to do so much work and they're doing nothing, it is not for you, man. I've had to learn this the hard way. Why don't you just admit this girl is attractive? Be nice, be sociable, but don't work her. You can work her over in a different way. You can feel her. Watch the body language. By feel, that's a figure of expression. See if she's interested in you. Because if she is, she's going to move in your direction. Too much of American dating is taught wrong. Want to go on a date? Here's my number. Don't do it. These women want equality. Give it to them. American dating is a mess. And I'm going to say something a lot of women are going to be offended about. Most of the marriages in the United States currently, right now, are not based on love. They never were. It is based on the hypocrisy of today's modern feminists marrying a man for financial security, even though they scream and yell that they want equality because they can't make enough themselves and they want a man to take care of them. But they don't want to be like the 50s where they stay home barefoot and pregnant and take care of things. They want to drive their SUV, they want their cell phone, their iPad, and they want to do whatever they want while the man pays for it all, and they can kind of have an attitude towards him too. Those are the kind of women you're going to get in the United States anymore. At my age. Or you're going to get a dependent. You're going to get a dependent who can't take care of herself, and she's going to want you. And she'll still give you nothing. I understand why MGTOW has become quite a booming cottage industry. It's not a cottage industry anymore. Women are using men, and many men are just saying, you know what? Have sex, go out, but that's it. You're not going to change the women. The culture of superficiality and the obsession with selfies, iPhone, iPad, and the great I is not going to go away. If you can, you'd be better off using caution. Find a woman abroad. Don't tell her how much money you have. Take the time to get to know her and see what her heart's really all about. If she's into you and she starts talking about, oh, I want so bad to go to America, run. If you meet a girl who says, I love it here, I don't want to leave, but I really like you, then you might have something. Feminism has ruined Western women, and Western women are very good at destroying their looks, dyeing their hair blonde when they're not blondes. I mean, I could go on and on. I did a whole video on that in Hong Kong. Western women are destroying themselves. They don't ask us men what we think. It's whatever the girlfriends think. I always found that curious. Why are you dressing and doing this to please the women instead of your man? My eyes have been wide open in the last few years about a lot of things. But the dating culture in Western nations is is neurotic. It is exacerbating. It is futile. I don't get online. I don't do online dating. I stopped that. I met a girl from Alabama years ago, Puerto Rican, very pretty girl. And without getting into too much personal at all, because of family ties, things were not going to work. And I liked her. I think about her every once in a while. But even then, the more I got to know her, we didn't share a lot of the same convictions on things. And it's tough. A lot of American women get themselves deeply in debt. I can't tell you how many women I've met in my life that they've got to have so much debt. And they can't let go of things. They got to have their dog. They got to have the TV going. They got to have this going. You marry an American or Western woman today, you're going to marry an entire bunch of systems that she's become so dependent on, and you either embrace those systems or you're out. That women who scream and yell about men, this, that, and the other, women will not change. They will not give up their addiction, their obsession, their ways to accommodate you. Don't even go after them if you're not into that stuff. People say, well, you can find a good Christian woman. I will tell you right now, you heard it from Pacific. Dangerous. Feminism has crept into the churches. Pastors and ministry leaders refuse to talk about the very things I'm talking about. They will not challenge. They will not rebuke. They will not exhort. They will not teach forth the truth to today's women culture. They won't do it. Because every pastor knows if you offend the females in your congregation and they leave the church, you don't have a church anymore. And to that I say, good, let them go. You don't need those kind of women sitting in there anyway. Why are men blasted in today's modern evangelical church for their lust and their problems? And it seems like if you listen to your average Sunday morning sermon, that things are very much directed at males being the faults of everything. Women feel comfortable in a church environment because they're not made uncomfortable. They're not told the truth. Most American women, you tell the truth, they will react in many ways, firstly in anger and rage, but secondly, they will remove themselves from the negativity. That's the new thing now. I heard a woman at the sauna told me, I don't surround myself with negative people. You want to define negative people? Is that somebody who looks you in the eye and says, I think that you have a problem with this or that? Most American women are not going to surround themselves with the type of friends that will look them in the eye and say, Susan, you're wrong. You're treating that guy terrible. You don't give him anything. You're a taker. You need to knock it off. You need to love your man. You need to massage him. You need to make him dinner. You need to do little things for him too. How many women are you going to hear surround themselves? No, they're going to surround themselves with mall, Starbucks, and dog lover friends that all, oh, if he doesn't understand you, get rid of him. You're too good for him. You ever notice women always say, always tell other women, oh, he got a find in you. How come you never hear men say to other men, oh, she got a find in you? How come you never hear women say, oh, she got a find in that guy? Because everything is always biased. If we want equality, then why is there so much bias? Why is there so much favor put on women? Why are women on pedestals? Why do women think and act like they're little goddesses and deities while demonizing men? Men who set up the entire structure of life as we know it. And if you ask women what they're actually contributing to the gross domestic product, oh yeah, you can tell me, well, I go to work. Good for you. And many of you complain about that too. But men have been working for thousands of years and they set up the entire infrastructure. You didn't do it. You were not the master of the arts. You were not the masters of literature. You were not the masters of government and government systems and our Constitution. Our founding fathers. Doesn't say founding mothers. And I always laugh when they call it Mother Earth. There is no such thing as Mother Earth and Mother Nature. There is no such thing. That's all laced in the false religion occult world. And if you ever notice that false religions can always be traced back to a woman, just start doing your research. Easter. It's all female deities and false goddesses. You go back in the Bible and they talk about a woman who had a lot of influence for evil, and that was Jezebel. I was driving a route in Denver one day, and I went by a bar called Jezebel's, and I took a picture and sent it to my friend. She goes, "Oh my gosh, they actually have a place there called that?" I said, "Yep." That's definitely not on my bucket list. Okay, folks, it's time to wrap this up. But the American dating culture is landmines, and if you're going to do that, I would caution you. One of this couple tips that I'll give you is if you're going to look at dating profiles, make sure you look at how many times a woman says, I want a man who's financially secure. I want a man who loves dogs. I want a man who's 420 friendly. I want a man who coddles everything that I'm into, or else I'm going to take my ball and go home. You run from those women. And if you actually see a dating post about a woman who says she'll give this and this, it's probably a scam. Don't take the bait. I have read millions of posts, and once in a great blue moon, I'll look just for entertainment value. Women demonize men for wanting sex. They demonize men for being men. But it's okay for a woman to be a self-centered, narcissistic, consuming of his wallet. It's okay for that. Demanding everything, giving and yielding nothing. Demanding that the man accept her in every way, but not saying that she'll accept the man in every way. I wrote a woman just to poke the finger in the eye, just to kick over a gas can, and it was fun. I knew what would happen when I did this, but I did it anyway. Spokane, Washington, this obese woman. She had multiple pictures of herself. Her arms were big around. She was a big, heavy girl. I looked at her post. I looked her over, and I thought, wow, she's a bit of a heifer. And I read her post saying, and she ended with, I do not want an obese man. Obese men turn me off. I wrote her. Did not send my pictures. I was not interested. I said, I'm a slender guy, but I said, I was reading your post, and I just wanted to comment. I look at every one of your pictures, and you're obese yourself, and I just find it interesting that you don't want an overweight man. Within 5 minutes, I got a notification in my inbox, complete with F-bombs. I wrote her back, and I said, your response to me ought to be what you post on your dating site as to who you really are. You can't handle the truth, babe. Maybe you shouldn't be posting looking for a man until you get a grip on yourself. F you, don't you write me or I'll get you for harassment. I said, I can respond to your post. I didn't harass, I said the truth. You keep writing me, you can stop too. She wrote me another one, complete with F-bombaroo. And I just laughed. I thought, yep, this is a woman that there would be people in Spokane that would actually go after. Desperados. And just her response to me, just me calmly saying, wow, you got all this build up and you don't want a fat man, and I'm looking at all your pictures and you're heavy yourself. She didn't want to be told that. I'm going to give you tips, men. You stay away from women that cannot handle critique. You don't involve with any female that can't handle honest critique. These women in a Hollywood media culture, in our entertainment-obsessed culture, in our church culture, which is equally entertainment-based, women want to be told over and over how good they are. They want to feel good. The problem with that is sugar makes you feel good, but it gives you cavities. It causes diabetes. It causes a host of other problems. And I've had to learn the hard way in life that if things are easy, you're less likely to grow and be challenged. I would quote John F. Kennedy to every American woman today with her smug, self-righteous, one-sided, feminized, hypocritical attitude from the late John F. Kennedy. I will change the words of his great quote. Ask not what a man can do for you, but instead ask what you can do for your man. Booyah! Ladies, we're not here to serve you and give you a Cadillac pedestal ride. That is not the job of a man. That a man and a woman, when they get in a relationship, are supposed to be a team. The Bible says, do not be unequally yoked. And what that means is when you have a couple of oxen plowing and you got an oxen that's constantly wanting to jab and pull to the right, you're not going to get any plowing done. A man and a woman need to move in the same direction in unison. Nowhere does the picture present itself in the Bible of the woman laying in the cart while the man's the ox pulling the cart while she's back there sunbasking. No, it says, do not be unequally yoked. To be yoked means farm animals, plowing, pulling the cart, pulling the working together. Today's American women want to have their cake and eat it too. And American men are stupid. We're sight-oriented. We'll do anything for the almighty scaling of Mount Everest of her body so we can plant our little penile flag at the top and say, I did her. Be careful, guys. She'll conquer you. She'll conquer you in the court. She'll conquer you emotionally, spiritually. She'll drain you to the point where you run. But even after you get divorced, she may come after you if you have kids, and you'll have 18 more years of bliss with her, of revenge and game playing. Men, you need to be careful. You need to think. And I can talk about this. I can talk because I have great experience in failed relationships. Were any of those failures a result of Michael? Yes, starting with number one. I shouldn't have dated all three of the women I married. Never should have. I should have stood back and watched, or dated them, but I should have extended the dating period on all. I would have seen enough to say no. Couple tips, guys. If you meet a woman who could never say 3 words, I am sorry, and mean it, run. Look at a woman's Facebook. That'll be very telling. She's got all these cutesy little wise sayings, one right after the other, run. If she's got 9,000 selfies, run. If the back of her SUV and her front door mat and her every accoutrement in her house is I love my dog, run. If there's Starbucks coffee cups all over her kitchen counter and in her trash can, run. She's probably a liberal. And I'm going to say something. Conservative women are not much different in American culture, at least here in Denver, than liberal women. They still have that feminist yuck factor. Holding it over a man. You mess up. You mess up. You don't want a woman like that. As a Christian woman, a woman ought to be consumed with the grace and mercy of God and stop putting the trip on males. You are a sinner. You needed to go to the cross. I need to go to the cross. And we need to stop this. I'm going to say it again. Feminist women do not want equality. They want dominance. They want the right to beat up on us, disrespect us, say all manner of stuff, and it's just automatically true because it came out of a woman's mouth. I'm sorry, we don't live off of that as the barometer. Just because a bunch of women are being a bunch of hens clucking in a hen house saying this and that doesn't make it so. We need something bigger than this overwhelming feminist dominating spirit of our age telling us what is. Men be men. If you show an interest in a girl's being all rude, just say, I'm sorry. I thought you were nice. You were attractive. I was wrong. Bye, Felicia. And move on. Don't guilt yourself. Handle yourself with class and appropriately. But I hear even on the rock radio stations that play the music on the bus for the kids. And I hear the DJs say, well, yeah, now when you date a woman, you need to go really, really slow. Maybe send her a text once a week. Once a week? I'm sorry, women. We don't have to submit to that. If you want to play the I want to text once a week game, go find somebody else. Pacific is not interested in trifling. You're either interested or not. If you're interested, you move in the direction of getting to know each other, texting once a week. And men, you need to stand back. If the woman's interested in you, she'll blow your phone up. You don't have to do anything. Oh yes, dating culture in America. Fox News, many years ago, my uncle called to inform me that Fox News actually ran a story about the dating sites, and the diagnosis and the evidence was in about dating sites by even people who started the dating site, men who had started the dating sites, and they said the following. They said that most of the women on these dating sites are not interested in netting a date. They're actually intoxicated with the high of how many men are just falling all over themselves in hopes of getting a date with her. You have to understand, women are different than us. They get a high out of that. But at the same time, they're sitting there with their girlfriends. Oh, look at this geek who's interested in me. Look at this guy. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he'd even think he'd get a date with me. I mean, it is like listening to a bunch of junior high teenagers. I tell people, get away from the online dating. Run from it. Meet somebody in your real world, and if you can't do that, then just hang it up. Go to your job. Go on about your life. If you want to do the online dating, I would recommend going overseas, but then you still have to be careful. A lot of women over there have caught in the flu virus of Western culturism, and they're looking for a way out of their poverty. They're looking for a way out of desperation, and they say they love you. They say all the right things just to get that visa. They get over here and clean you out. Russians are doing it. Filipinos are doing it. Not all. Russians are the top of the list for scams, Ukraine and Russian women. But a lot of Asian women too. You've got to take the time to get to know them. And I'm going to tell you, if they ask you for money while they're talking to you on their $800 iPhone and they've got an internet connection in the village that they live in, and they're asking you for money, say, how much does your internet cost? How much did you pay for that phone? What? What do you mean? Well, you're asking me for money, but you got internet, and I know you're paying for it. If you're so poor, turn it off. They always got enough money to get online because their culture teaches that, many of them. Find yourself an American man, and you can get out of here. You don't want that kind of woman. People say, well, I can't blame them for wanting to leave. I don't blame them for wanting to better their circumstances either, but to use another person to do it, to take advantage of a man's heart when a man is looking for love in a relationship, and to use that man and to manipulate that man to think that you're actually in love with him when your motive is to get over here, you are no good. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good. This is Pacific. Stay tuned for more controversy.